Okay, good morning. It's a Friday morning. Lots to talk about, but mostly low-key stuff. We got a lot of rain coming into the Pacific Northwest, an atmospheric river of sorts, so they're under the gun in terms of rain, and they have a lot of watches and warnings. We'll look at that. We're also going to look at the warmth. We're going to find temperatures in the Bay Area, Central California, into the 70s, into the mid-70s by the end of the weekend, early next week. In Southern California, you just ride it out. I mean, it's been some good weather, pretty much fog-free, plenty of sunshine in the 70s. So it's a really pleasant week south of Cape Mendocino. We talked about that yesterday, so we're going to look at that. This is the atmospheric river. Oh, one thing real quick. I was talking to a buddy yesterday on the phone. He goes, Bill, he goes, that coffee mug, it's sort of pretentious. It's like kind of like, I don't know. And I'm like, no, it's the coffee mug I drink coffee out of. And I'm like, I don't know. I just drink coffee in the morning. This is what I do every morning. So I don't think, you let me know if you think it's, because I don't have any props, right? Although the Emmy is, that's more of a street cred thing. That's like, okay, this guy, right? Because if you don't know meteorology and weather, if you see that and you go, oh yeah, guy won an Emmy, he must know something, which it doesn't mean anything, but it's also, I think it's kind of cool looking too. And as one gentleman, I think it was a gentleman, pointed out, he goes, it's an awesome volleyball trophy. It's right. It's awesome. Okay, so anyway, coffee. I know it's a fixture. It's if you were at my house right now, and I was getting up. It's a beautiful day, and I would have a cup of coffee in my hand till about 11:30. And then I got to stop because I can't sleep. Anyway, okay, so just checking in on that, because if it's assy, I got to know. That for sure is assy, and I know it, but that's fine. Okay, so we've got this atmospheric river is kind of cool looking, right? So the yellow is the dry slot. This is water vapor, and you can see the cloud cover or the water vapor moving into the Pacific Northwest aggressively and into parts of Northern California. So when we look at the national map, which I'm beginning to like this map, this is a quick look nationally at where the trouble spots are. So those colors, so along the coast, you get used to that. That purple is a small craft advisory. These greens and darker greens are either flood watches, flood concerning, hydro advisories. It just basically says, hey, listen, this area is going to get real wet. And for these guys to get flood advisories is a big deal, right? Because it's hard to get water coming, it's hard to have hydro problems in this region because they have such good drainage. They're used to rain, is what I'm trying to say. So that's pretty wet. It's going to be pretty wet up there. And you can see it's north of Crescent City, but we're right on the line. So we'll see. And then they were real, you saw the snow out Virginia Beach and some of those spots yesterday. But when I look at that map, I go, boom. Oh, and this is wind. When you see brown, that's wind. And there is actually, this is on the National Weather Service homepage. If you go down here, there is a whole, see, it's all coded out. So there's small craft advisories, flood warnings, and you can just peek at this map and go, oh, that's what's going on, which I love. So the point of that today is it looks really, really quiet around the country, I think if you're flying, traveling. This is the visible satellite map. I do like this one because this is a snapshot. This is as of 10:30 this morning. Now I can't help but thinking it's pretentious to drink coffee. I'm not going to stop because I still drink coffee. And the sippy cup is anything but pretentious, right? Or is it? So, little fog along the north coast. There's Cape Mendocino right there. Here's Mount Shasta. I'm going to get out of the way, but right there to the right of the orb, that's Mount Shasta, and then some cloud cover. And then you see the snow on the spine of the Sierra. You see some high clouds. And then you see a little bit of fog in Southern California. This is coastal fog. So it just gives you a quick check on what's going on. First thing we're going to do is look at precipitable water. That just shows you kind of where the atmospheric river is. It's like looking at a water vapor loop. And I'll put a loop. The map's small. I know, I'm sorry, but I want you to see the stretch of the atmospheric river. There, look at that thing. That is money. That's solid, 2,500 miles, 3,000 miles of straight out fetch. Wow. That's why they got flood watches up in the Pacific Northwest. What day is this? This is Saturday afternoon. And you can see it just misses us, right? If this was Bay Area, holy smokes, look at that thing. So now that's Sunday afternoon, and then it breaks, right? Sunday afternoon, then it looks like something wants to try to swing through on Monday, but nothing for us. And we'll just take a look and see. There's another atmospheric current. Now I've been watching this around March 3rd and 4th. There's a little bit of a pop for us. And all I'm showing you is the fuel. Where's the fuel? We can look at the dynamics here. Here is California. Here is the GFS. Sea level pressure meets rain. And I just want you to see the Pacific Northwest. So what I'm going to do is, you know what I'll do? I'll just circle the Pacific Northwest. So the black circle. And look at that. They're loaded up, man. They are loaded up. And now it breaks. And right here, when is our next chance for real rain? There. That's March 4th. And you see that. And then watch how it opens up. When I say us, I mean Central California. So we'll see. And then I'll watch, and my friends in Point Arena and Fort Bragg. I love you guys, by the way, just because I spent some, I used to I kind of lived on the coast, truthfully, when I was in my van. I used to spend a lot of time up at Point Arena. So there is, okay, so this is you guys up in Point Arena. This is Sunday morning. Good, that's a good rain. That's a good drenching. And that's all the way down to, shoot, man, maybe Ukiah is getting in on it too, a little bit. But see how it's just NorCal-centric, far NorCal-centric. And then we go all the way down here, waiting for that. There's that March 4th and 5th. March 4th and 5th looks like, if you're timing out for some big event, that looks like the big one. So what I just said? I just said that, ooh, that's a cool shot. Palisades, Tahoe. It's going to be nice. And temperature's going to get in the mid-70s. If you're north of Cape Mendocino, you got that rain coming on Sunday. And in the Pacific Northwest, it's game on for rain, which is, you guys are tooled up for it, just emotionally and topographically. And then, God, that looks beautiful day, doesn't it? I don't see much wind out there either. Yeah, nice day. So that's Palisades, Tahoe. I love these ski cameras. It is ski week, so it is appropriate that we do the ski week thing. This is the line at North Star, and it's ski week, man. It's like everybody's up there. Skiing's I grew up skiing. Actually, I want that. I've been skiing since the 60s, and it's a very social thing. It's very social. So people don't mind standing in line. I mean, when you're a kid, you mind standing in line. But if you're a cute guy and a cute girl and you're meeting cute guys and cute girls and you got your cute outfit on, you got your 6 skis, it's nothing like, standing in line, checking each other out, I guess. There's a train park. That's a nice looking train park. Looks closed today. That's North Star. This is Mount Rose. I have fond memories of this place. I don't know if it's going to play for us today. I don't think it is. But this Mount Rose, I used to go up there in the day when it was Slide Mountain. It was called, I think they called it, it was called Slide. Yeah, it was Slide Mountain. No, there were 2 different mountains. There was Slide Mountain and Mount Rose. And then they finally combined them. And now I think they call it Mount Rose. But it was, we used to go up there. We'd go up there, and this is the highway. This is I-80. We'd go up there, this is back in the 60s, primarily because it was cheap. It was a haul. I probably spent that much in gas going from Paradise all, because you're basically in Nevada. But we would go up there because I think the tickets were like $350, right? Okay, so this is Ocean Beach. It's deceptively nasty today. I know it looks good. But it's deceptively nasty because it's about, I'd say it's probably a solid 6 to 8 foot. Tides are manageable. That's no worry. You can see the ocean's pretty mild. The swell's spaced out nicely, but it's just, there's a building swell. Next few days, the swell comes up. And so my tip to you, if you're learning to surf, so you look at this, you go, oh yeah, I'd go out, take your wave storm out or your new board, and you're just kind of intermediate, let's say. Even above intermediate, advanced intermediate, you go out there and there's going to be, because the swell's building and there's some 10, 12-foot sets lurking out on the horizon, the pulse, the energy from that swell starts to push into this swell. And so out of nowhere will come a wave you don't want to deal with. And so, place like Santa Cruz, it's okay because there's a channel, but Ocean Beach, there's no channel. When I talk about channel, I'm talking about here, it's deep water. Ocean Beach is just sandbar. So you're going to take a 12-footer on the head. This is Santa Cruz. I surfed out there yesterday at Steamer Lane. Had fun, went down, saw Dad, almost 98 years old. He's doing pretty good. He's losing a step, but Christ, 98 years old. Oh my God. I'm going to tell you, I have a good story about Santa Cruz. Since we're past the weather, we know what the weather's going to do. I was out yesterday, and it was kind of chippy. It was like, it's Steamer's Lane's kind of that way. It's just a lot of people. It's kind of it's a great wave. But anyway, I've got this new attitude where when I go out, I go, I'm going to smile at people. I'm going to be, because there's always friction in the water, just because it's hard to explain if you don't surf. But on these not bigger, but on these more popular breaks where there's more alphas, we all get alpha with each other. And then there's the alpha plus alpha. And then there's the me, not barely an alpha, but not really an alpha, but wants to be, whatever. So some dude drops in on me. I've been out there for a good hour. Some dude drops in on me on literally the best wave not of the day, certainly, but of my day. And so I take off and I'm like, I'm stoked. I'm ripping, right? Well, I think I'm ripping. I think I look pretty hot. And this guy just drops in. And I was kind of fuming. And we went a long way. Literally like a quarter mile on this wave. And I'm following him the whole way. And I'm kind of getting mad. Because it's really the worst thing you can do is to drop in on somebody. It's just the ultimate sign of disrespect. But this guy was older. He's like younger than me, but he's older, right? He wasn't, he was probably 55 or something. But he was kind of crotchety in terms of movement. And I was like, I started watching him surf. And I was like, I kind of got into it. So for 200 yards, I'm following this guy. And so normally I would kick out and say something, right? You have to. And I just looked over, we came up on each other. I was right behind him. And I stuck my hand up like I was going to high five him, but I was kind of not gonna. I was kind of joking. But he grabbed my hand. We clutched hands and I smiled and I said, yeah. And he went in and I went back out. And I was like, well, that was the best I could have made of that experience because he was happy. I mean, I think his deal was, that's Santa Cruz. This is Trussell's. I think his deal was, it was a hard day to get waves. And I think he'd been struggling to get waves. And I think he got a good wave. And he's like, I'm going to pretend like I don't see that guy behind me, which isn't cool. But I think when you're old, he's older. Like I'm like 66. He's like probably 55. But that's older, 55, right, for him. And I'm like, yeah, you're struggling and you're trying to get waves. And you just had a really cool wave. And I ended it. I think he thought he was going to get yelled at, and I yelled at him. So that's my point. So yay me. Okay, this is San Onofre. It's just fun. San Onofre is awesome. That's a great, listen, if you're learning to surf, go down there. That's look at that place. Like there's not a lot of consequence there in terms of, there's a channel to paddle out in. This is pipeline. There's a lot of, it's a hard place to surf, and that's the boys and the girls and everybody's, and they know each other. And I'll bet I know a couple guys out there. And if I paddled out right now, even though I know a couple guys out there, there wouldn't be a lot of smiling at Bill. There'd be a lot of pointing. Look at these guys. See what they're doing? They're scratching. They're scratching because this set's coming. So they're all paddling to get away from the reef. So see that, you can see that pressure, and you see that whole line of dudes going, oh, whoa, 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 because that's a set. And then the alphas come back to it, right? So this is the peak. You know all this, but it's fun to watch, and this is essentially real time for me right now. Oh, look at that. Oh my, that was awesome. Okay, San Francisco. Let me toggle the camera around to the, there's Golden Gate Bridge. It's beautiful. Look where you live, man. That's why it costs, well, now, maybe you don't live there because maybe you're up in Falala, maybe you're up in Crescent City, Seattle, or maybe you're down in Laguna Beach. But if you're down in Laguna Beach, like I have a lot of friends down there, Laguna Beach is beautiful too. Are you kidding? This is one of the better live cameras on the Alert California network. Okay, so there you go. That's that. Oh, and then we got to look at the mountain, and then we got to go. Sorry I guess I rambled a little bit, but it's a good weather pattern. And I think one of the things you're going to notice this week is allergies. I know that's a weird one to say, but I think some people, especially super sensitive groups, you will notice something by the middle of next week, just because things are starting to bloom. And trees are probably I would imagine the trees are probably the main thing that are blooming right now. And that's what affects the most people, trees. You knew that, right? Because a lot of it has to do with because they're high up. So when the pollen floats around, it's around your eyes and around your breathing, right? It's not like a flower or something that's down low. So I think pollens it's going to spring up. And we're looking at mid-70s right through the middle of next week, and you in Southern California as well. And you in the Pacific Northwest, it's like game on for the next 3 or 4 days of some significant rain and some hydro issues perhaps. Okay, so that's it. Today is Friday. It is my day off. I might join you tomorrow. We'll see. Okay. And check in on the coffee thing too, because I hate to lose it, but I could do that, right? And then, I don't know. Okay, I will talk to you soon. Thanks for hanging in. I'll see you back here.